Hi, my name is Kami and I was born at 368 parts per million.
Okay, first question. What one climate fact should everyone know?
There was a study that came out at the beginning of the year that illustrated that when halogens, they're a group of atoms, when they interact with methane in the atmosphere, they increase the lifetime of methane by 6 to 8%, which means that the increase in methane's lifetime leads to an increased warming potential and is equivalent to the growth of methane in the last 3 to 4 decades.
What climate-themed film really impacted you?
For the first one I can remember that was really climate change related and less so just like environmental, was Racing Extinction by Louis Psihoyos. And recently at COP26 I had the opportunity to have like a 2-hour conversation with Louis at a bar late in the evening about his life and his work. Really inspirational.
The climate crisis can be overwhelming. What keeps you fighting for action?
For me, climate change or a climate crisis, when I feel overwhelmed, I just zoom out. And not to say that it's trivial, but just to make sure that we take into perspective that we're just one species on one planet in a huge galaxy, then through that perspective have a renewed sense of purpose of like, this is the biggest level in the game of humanity, right? If you think about humanity as this like computer game, which I never played, but if you think about it like that, this is the last level, this is the hardest level. And it's kind of exciting to see whether humans are able to come together in order to solve this biggest crisis that they probably will ever face.
Do you have a favorite item of clothing that is sustainably made, upcycled, or secondhand?
I, a few years ago, started painting on old pieces of fabric or sort of jackets, my parents. I have a lot of secondhand clothing just from my parents and from my brother and so on. And one of my favorites is a jacket from my mom that I painted with like a colorful dancer on the back. And it basically says on the bottom, dance is the language of the universe, because I do believe that dance is an hugely important form of communication for humans. So that is my favorite piece of clothing.
When you meet people, particularly young people, who say, I don't know what I can do about climate change, what do you tell them?
I tell them to consider the sort of various different communities and systems that they're a part of. You know, think about the town you're from, the school you go to, the friend groups you have, and then try to think about how can you, in your own way, create systemic change within that space.
And that's a wrap.